Hello, Beachbody champions. We are so excited for today's What It Takes with Danielle Natoni. And since it is still loading, but I know that we are live, I'm just going to wait and make sure that this clicks over, which Beachbody champions. We are so it looks like it did. Perfect. Love that feature. So welcome to What It Takes. My name is Brittany Adamson. I am the regional sales manager here for the West region. Here at Beachbody, we have an entire group of people that are dedicated to helping you reach your potential. So if you are a diamond coach or above, check out FAQ 7581 to learn more about how we can help you achieve your goals. So as you know, as you see over the weeks about our What It Takes mini series, if you're new to this is exciting. So basically, it's a mini series where we ask the same questions to elite coaches, and they talk about what it takes to become an elite coach. Today, we are talking with Danielle Natoni. She is a superstar diamond coach, so she is a 15-star diamond coach. What is super amazing, she is currently, in her second CBC, she's an 8-star diamond, but she's currently 13-star diamond qual. She's a 6-time elite coach, a 2016 CEO award recipient, and founder of Team Fit Funky. So with all those accolades, why don't we start with you just telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm really excited to be on. My name is Danielle, and I have been a coach for almost 8 years. April 15th, 2010 was my official join date. So pretty soon it'll be my coach anniversary, but it really feels like, it doesn't feel like 8 years. Gosh, it flies by. I am married to my husband, Darren, who is also in the Beachbody family. We actually met on the set of the Insanity infomercial. So we're a true Beachbody love story. I have 2 kids from a previous marriage. Adriana is 16 and Bianca is 12. So they both keep me busy with volleyball and choir and lots of stuff. And I live in Frisco, Texas, which is now the home to the Cowboys World Headquarters for all you football fans out there. Oh, and I have a cat, a really bad cat named Chuma the Bengal. So if at any point you hear screaming, that's him just wanting you to know that he's a cat and that he's here.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So will you tell us how you got introduced to Beachbody?
Sure. So my story is different than probably yours or the people that you bring on to Beachbody. I was not looking for a fitness solution. I've actually always loved fitness. I grew up in a fit family. Even though I had my daughter young at 22, I went right back into fitness. I used to do Denise Austin on Lifetime, and I used to buy magazines, and I used to just soak up in fitness info. And I actually had never really heard of Beachbody. What brought me to coaching was I was broken, both emotionally and financially, and really more specifically financially. I was a 5th grade math teacher at the time, and I could not even make it paycheck to paycheck. I had out like 9 payday loans, a credit score of less than 300, 12 maxed out credit cards, and creditors calling me at my work, calling my parents, and I really saw no sight out. And so I was looking for a secondary stream of income. And I had always waited tables or tended bar. Even when I was pregnant with Bianca, I would teach school by day. I would sling drinks at night in order to make my kids' daycare payments. So I always had a side hustle. But I thought, I'm tired and I don't want to do that anymore. And since I always loved fitness, I thought, okay, I wonder if there's a way for me to make a secondary income in fitness. And what I didn't know is that people who teach group exercise class or personal trainers quite often don't really bring in a lot of secondary income. But I didn't know that, and I'm so glad that I didn't. So how I found Beachbody was I took my tax return back when I actually liked doing my taxes, and I signed up for a turbo kick training. I had never done turbo kick, had never done kickboxing, but the man at my gym said, it's a popular class. If you get certified to teach it, we'll bring you on as a sub. And at that training is where I met my upline sponsor. Her name is Jackie Woodfin. She's amazing. You should go check her out. And during lunch, she told me about Beachbody, and she shared with me how she had just come back from Hawaii on a trip. I had never traveled anywhere. She shared with me that she'd been in the Turbo Gym infomercial, and I thought, wow, I want to be in an infomercial. And she shared with me that she helped pay her family's mortgage with her income from Beachbody, and I couldn't pay my mortgage. So all these things sounded great. And when she asked me, have you ever heard of Beachbody? My answer was actually, I don't think so. And so it wasn't the fact that she said all the right things to me about Beachbody or coaching. all she did was she looked at me and she said, I think you would crush it. And for whatever reason, that was all I needed from her. I knew nothing about Beachbody. I had never done any of our programs. I had no clue what a Shakeology was other than a really strange word. I was a little bit scared it was a scheme, a little bit scared that I couldn't do it. But I wanted to be like her. She was poised and beautiful and well-spoken. And there was something in the universe that told me, Danielle, I think this will be the thing that forever changed your life. And so I went with that gut instinct, and here I am.
Okay. I love that the fact that you came in on the actual business side of it, mm-hmm. that you really decided enough was enough and you were ready to move forward. So I love that. Okay. I feel like that can resonate with so many people, especially in the Champs page here. So going back to kind of when you first signed up, what did those early days look like?
Yeah. So you're probably thinking, oh, well, you just jutted out and had immediate success. And I did not. And I told you that April 15th was my join date, but actually my first join date was like March 8th or something like that. The day that I came home from that training, I signed up with Jackie and I quit the same night. And it's funny because the other day she texted me a post, from On This Day on Facebook where Carl Deichler had actually shouted her out for signing a new recruit, which was neat. But that I quit that exact same night because I was so scared and I knew I was going to send my bank account into the negative, which I did. But for whatever reason, through that month, I kept hearing more about Beachbody and I just really felt compelled that that was supposed to be the thing that I did. So I joined on April 15th. But I did not jut out to immediate success because here was the thing, you guys. In my mind, I was like, I'm fit. Fit people don't do home workouts. So I did not do any of our programs. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm fit. Fit people eat food. So I didn't drink our shake. And in my mind, I was completely normal and only crazy people do self-development or personal development. Meanwhile, my life was a complete mess and I needed personal development more than anyone else. So what I found myself was trying to sell the business, but I had no connection to it. So if you asked me about P90X, I'd tell you, oh, you do pull-ups. And like, that was my selling point. And I got to Emerald and, got some coaches and customers because I'm outgoing and, overall people kind of like me. But for the most part, I was actually spending more than I was making, which made no sense because the whole reason I joined was to change my financial situation. And so where I found myself was 8 months in, never hitting Success Club, trying to sell this the wrong way without being proof our products work. And it wasn't until I went to a live event that it all clicked for me as I saw people walk across that stage, all sharing their fitness journey, their connection with Shakeology, their favorite personal development book. And all of those people were the people that were having success. And that was the moment I drew a line in the sand. That was November of 2010. And I said, I am going to make this work. I am going to be a diamond coach 2 weeks from today. I turned behind the person to me who was Chris Reed. And I said, mark my words, this will be the last event where no one knows who I am. And I picked up my first copy of the original Insanity. And I completed that from start to finish. And can you imagine, for those of you who know me, how different my life might be if I had never chosen that program? So the early days were not an instant success for me.
Ooh, but I feel like that resonates with so many people. Okay, love this. So let's just keep going. What do you feel are some attributes or habits that you have contributed to that have helped you to be successful?
Yeah. So I always say I am no more special or talented than you. And I absolutely mean that. I am not successful because I have abs. I'm actually successful in spite of that. It is so much harder to be relatable and likable when you have six-pack abs and a perfect looking husband, right? So, or I'm not successful because I have a huge social media following. When I first started this business, I barely had a Facebook account and I was pretty upset MySpace was gone. And I built my following just like you, one post at a time, one follower at a time. And I'm not successful because I'm in videos. Think about every video you've ever done. How many of those coaches do you really know? And usually they are coaches. So I'm successful because of one thing, and you have this ability too. My only superpower is consistency. I am so consistently consistent that you cannot mess with my consistency. I show up every single day, no matter what. Earlier on in my business, I went through a divorce when I felt like I was the only, well-known coach to get divorced at the time. Last year, my mom was really sick. She's healthy now, and I still showed up every single day. We've had real estate challenges. My daughter has Tourette syndrome. Like, I go through all the same things that you do, but I choose to show up every day. So for me, the number one superpower, the number one attribute that anyone needs to build this business is simply consistency. Everything else is secondary.
Amen. We can end the call right there, but let's just keep going. What advice do you have for a brand new coach who doesn't know where to start? What can they start doing today to achieve long-term success?
The basics. You guys, 8 years in, this is still how I run my business. I wake up, I drink my shake, I do my workout, I read or listen to personal development, and I talk to people both in person and online, and I repeat. And nothing else really matters. It doesn't matter if you have a website. You can do all the fanciest graphics. You can watch all the YouTube videos. You can do all the trainings. You can listen to every national wake-up call. But if you are not being proof our products work, then nothing else matters. The person on the other side of social media needs to believe and trust that you truly are a byproduct of Beachbody. So if you want to build a big business, start by pressing play. If you want to build a big business, shake up that energize every single day. And I'm not telling you to word vomit Beachbody on people, but the reality is this: there is not a single person on this planet that questions that my results, that my success, that my everything is attributed to Beachbody. And so if you want to know where to start, it starts and ends by pressing play on that workout, pressing play on that blender, working on your brain as much as you work on your body, and simply making it a choice and a decision to say hello to more people every single day. This business is not complicated. You've heard that before. Like, this business does take time and it can be challenging, but it's not complicated. It is literally sharing what works for you. People just want to know, did it work for you and will it work for them? So if you want to build a big business, start by pressing play.
Okay. So one step further, what about the coach that is struggling? What advice would you give for them?
Sure. So, Doug actually shared this with me a long time ago, and he was sharing the story of another coach, and I don't remember the coach's name, and it doesn't matter. But the point of the story is she said that the national wake-up call was almost debilitating to her. That every time she would listen to the national wake-up call, she felt she had to overhaul her business. So every week she was changing and overhauling. And so what he said was, the national wake-up call is a tool. It's a resource. It's not meant for you to change your business just because somebody else does. And so what I took from that is things like this: all these Champions Page videos, they're tools in your toolbox. They're more information. I'll give you an analogy. It's kind of a silly one, but in high school, you had to take chemistry. It's not because you were going to be a chemist per se, but it was just giving you more information about the world around you. So what I would say is don't get so stuck in, oh, well, this coach does this, so I have to do that. And this coach does that, so I need to do that. And let me watch this video. And you get stuck in analysis paralysis. You get stuck in the comparison game, when the reality is that do what feels good to you. There is no right or wrong way to build this business. So if you are feeling stuck, great. Listen to a national wake-up call and say, okay, that piece makes sense. I'm going to try that. That piece doesn't feel authentic to me. I'm not going to try that. And I'll use a personal example. I do not do coach sneak peeks. And I am so happy for all of you out there who have great success with it. For me, it doesn't feel natural because I'm I give you a sneak peek into my life, into my coaching business every single day through my social, but I'm still able to build a big business. Because I don't do coach sneak peeks doesn't make me less of a coach, doesn't make it wrong. So I want you to use all these tools and info as a way to think, okay, is this for me? Can I try this to spark something new to get you out of a rut? Or does it not feel natural to you? And knowing that it's okay to not do what every other coach is doing. That's the beauty of this business, is that we get to build it authentically as ourselves. And so my number one piece of advice for you really is be true to you. If you keep looking left and right, you're going to steer off your path. But if you keep your eyes forward, you're far more likely to get to your destination.
Ooh, okay. Golden nuggets in that. Hands down. So reiterating, national wake-up call obviously is a tool. You don't have to reshape your business. If something is working, keep doing it. Same thing at corporate we see every single day. If you don't stay true to that, you'll go left and right. You'll never go towards your path of success. So Thank you. That is
Yeah.
brilliant. And coaches, I hope that you wrote that down, and please share that with your coaches as well. My next question for you is, what is the best advice someone has given you regarding your business?
Gosh, that's so hard. There's so many different things that I've been told, but honestly, it's a little bit more of an extension of what I just said, which is just be you. You don't have to be me. Not everyone is going to connect with me, but they might absolutely connect with you. And when you are 100% authentically, unapologetically you'll find your tribe. You'll find your people who are your people. And so, earlier on in the beginning, I actually tried to be really perfect, and it's exhausting and nobody likes it and nobody connects with it. And the more vulnerable you are and the more you share parts of your real life, the more people will connect with you. And obviously you have to decide what your level of comfortability is on what you share. But I know that the times that I've opened up and really shared what I'm struggling with or what are pieces that are true to my story, then I find people that I'm helping. So, I know it's kind of like I'm beating this like dead horse, but really just be okay with being you. You are perfectly made just the way you are to be successful in this business. So never lose sight of that. You can see what other people are doing. And I always say you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to customize them. So when you see other people doing things, make it feel good for you and authentically you, and never lose sight of who you are. I am Danielle Natoni, not Danielle Beachbody. If you prick me, I bleed Beachbody blue through and through, but that still doesn't make me lose my identity. It's just part of who I am. So let it be part of who you are and stay 100% true to you.
Beautifully said. Okay, let's go to our speed round. We're going to fly through these. And if you'll do me a favor, because obviously you're on a whole nother level, can you talk about where you're at now, but then also what it looked like in your early on days, so we can really relate to our crowd here?
Sure. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, no, you're great. So on average, how much time do you spend working your business per day?
So right now I do this full time. And so I would say on average between 5 to 6 hours a day. I basically try to do my work during when the kids are at school, because then once it's done, it's like I have to shuttle people all over the place and make dinner. So I'd say on average between 5 to 6 hours a day. However, when I was a new coach and I was still an elementary school teacher, right? 2 young kids teaching elementary school. I was also personal training and teaching group exercises, like 14 classes a week. You guys, I had to work in pockets, and I'm a huge advocate for sleep now, but I will tell you, back in those days, I got up at 4 a.m. and I probably went to bed at midnight because I needed time before to get in my workout, get in my post scheduling. I would stay in my classroom for lunch and work during lunch. Afterwards, I would, go teach my classes, come home, feed the kids. They would go to bed, and then I would stay up until midnight. And so I think there's seasons. There's seasons of hustle, and then there's seasons of flow. And I'm in a season of flow right now. But earlier on, I had to basically work whenever I could fit it in. And on the weekends, I would work all day. Like I would legit work from like sun up to sundown if I had to. So now I have more liberty. I can go on vacation from time to time and not worry about the business as much. But also, this business is super addicting. So I actually have to find myself forcing myself to stop working the business to make sure that I have balance with my actual family life.
Awesome. What is your average SC right now?
So I looked that up actually. And so, I can range anywhere from low end 40, high end to 100. But if I really have to average it out, it's on average between 40 to 50 points a month. Earlier on, when I first started out, you heard me say the first 8 months, I never hit Success Club. So January of 2011 was my first month I ever hit Success Club. And I actually know the number I hit-ish. I was about 22 points because I've never missed SE10 since then. And back then there was a promotion to like scout the trip, and I wanted to try to win it because I had never traveled. I didn't win, but it got me going on my streak. And so probably I would say I've always averaged bare minimum 10 early in those early on days, but usually, I was around 20, I want to say earlier on. I just made it a commitment to never stop. Just because I hit 10, I didn't put the stop on the brakes like, whoo, okay, I hit 10. It was because I'm always paranoid. Like, what if somebody returns something? Or like, what if something happens? So I always kind of aimed for 15 earlier on because I never wanted to have a month where I was scared that I would lose it.
Okay, so just reiterating, SC10, I always say this, SC10 sets you up for success now and in the future, but find your numbers, and I promise you it's always going to be over 10. So I love that you said that, even in your early days. That did not scare you. So, okay, next one. What percentage of time do you focus on your business versus your team?
I would say now, here I am, 5 business centers, like huge organization. It's probably 50-50. And there's some days where maybe it's 60-40, right? Like depending on, is this a day that I'm highly like recruiting and bringing on new people? Or is this a time where I'm like running a new training? But I would say right now it's probably about 50-50. Early on, it was 100-0 or 90-10. The reality is when you're a new coach, you're it. Like there is no one. Or, I think what happens too a lot of times, especially for you diamond coaches and above, you're diamond now and you've got like 8 coaches and you're like, okay, I've got to really focus on leadership, but you only have a few people. And if you're not constantly bringing in new people, and while people are not numbers, it is a little bit of a numbers game. You constantly have to be bringing in new people to see who are going to be those next, fireballs for you. So I would say early on, I was like 100-0, maybe 95-5. And, I always still question, could I be doing more for my team? I think that's like a natural thing that as leaders, we think for ourselves. But the reality is you can never, ever, ever lose sight of your own personal recruiting behavior, because that is how you find your next diamond in the rough. That's how you find your next elite coach. And that's how you grow this thing and blow it out of the water. So I don't think it'll ever split past 50-50.
Okay. But do you feel like when you're constantly just, when you're a diamond and you're, leading them and you're not increasing your business, you're constantly playing defense, and that's exhausting.
It's exhausting. And honestly, that's where you hear people say, I can't get my coaches to stay active. Well, that should never be an issue, because you're constantly bringing new people into the pipeline. I always say the people that started with me are not necessarily the people that I ended with today. Things can change. And then sometimes people who just sit dormant all of a sudden want to blow this thing out of the water later. But you constantly have to just keep bringing people into your ecosystem nonstop to see who is that next born leader. And then, like you said, you're not playing defense. You're not worrying about, oh my gosh, if this person stops their Shakeology, then what? Because life is going to happen to people. So you have to keep constantly recruiting every single day. Here I am 8 years later, and that's still my main focus is who are the new amazing people that I can bring onto our team and to enhance the energy of our family.
So this takes us into our last real question.
Okay.
How many coaches do you recruit per month?
So it depends. I checked out those numbers too. I would say on average about 15 to 20 new coaches a month. There obviously have been months where I've signed a lot more or a lot less. So I'm not one of those people who's bringing in like 50 or 100 new coaches a month. But with that being said, I have some really strong leaders in my team. So, we've got, 7 elite coaches and like many star diamonds and just lots of new leaders on the horizon. So while my numbers may not be astronomical, though 15 to 20 is still a lot of new coaches, but of those 15 to 20, we have a really good rate of business builders to discount coaches, business builders who actually move beyond Emerald. So I like staying in that range, because anything beyond that, I don't feel I can necessarily personally connect, because I basically do all of that. I don't outsource any of it. I still don't have an assistant, you guys. Like, it's just me and that loud cat downstairs. So early on, I don't really know the answer to that, if we're being completely honest. But what I will say is it must have been at least 5 to 10. And the reason I say that is because I've consecutively hit Success Club 10 for like 87 months. I have grown, 5 different business centers to Star Diamond and beyond. We've got many, so I'm thinking it has to be like somewhere in the range of 5 to 10, because if it weren't, I wouldn't have as many business builders on our team. But I really can't remember the number. Though back in the day, when you had to walk uphill in the snow 2 miles barefoot to get your Shakeology, actually Success Club points were attached to, you had to sign at least 1 coach a month. And so I know there was always a little bit of like, I don't want to say fear, but pressure to sign coaches. So if I had to guess early on, it was probably 5 to 10, maybe more so in the 5 range.
Awesome. Okay, let's do a random question from the hat.
Ooh, this is interesting.
I know, right? Okay. What is your all-time favorite movie?
Oh my God. Are we kidding? This is the best question for me. Did you legit, did you?
Nope.
I wish I could turn my camera, but I'm on my computer because on my wall in this office are 2 giant framed Rocky posters. So if you know me, then you know I am obsessed with the movie Rocky, all of them, from Rocky all the way to 5 to Rocky Balboa to Creed. And you guys, on Thanksgiving of this year, Creed 2 comes out. When my team hit Superstar Diamond, I took my team to Philadelphia. We ran the Rocky stairs. We ate at the restaurant where in Rocky Balboa, Rocky now owns that. It was called Adrian's in the movie, obsessed. It is my dying wish to meet Sylvester Stallone. So Sly, if for some reason you know somebody in this group and you're watching this, I want to let's get to know each other. But honestly, I have just always resonated with that movie. I've always resonated with the fictional character that he created. I know every movie line word for word, but I also love his story. I love how he never gave up, that he wrote that and they did not want to cast him in it. And he held firm and said, no, I'm going to be the lead in it. And I love that he sold his dog in order to be able to afford, to make this movie. And I love the theme of it. If you were at Leadership a few years ago, I closed it out and I used Rocky alliterations because if you watch through the different, what he went through, right? He started at rock bottom. As he grew, he lost a sense of himself. And then he had to go back to his roots in order to find success again. And I think that can be very true of our journey. So anyway, Rocky's my favorite movie. So
that was a perfect question for you. Oh my gosh. Well, let's close this out. Thank you everybody for staying with us for so long. These were great questions. And I really hope that this resonated with you. I hope that you take this back to your coaches and just really start to see every single one of these coaches that we have on here, they consistently do the same things, but they do them over and over again and they never give up. So thank you, Danielle, for your time. This was amazing. I truly appreciate you and have an amazing day at Beachbody Champs. We will see you all very soon.
Bye. Thank you.